All right, welcome. So, for a minute, let's just forget about the market charts, the hype, the memes, all of it. Today, we're going to look past all that noise and really focus on the projects that are building some serious, foundational technology. We're talking about the actual plumbing, the protocols and platforms that could genuinely power the next big wave of AI, decentralized finance, and what true digital ownership is all about. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? What does the future actually look like? Well, the answer might just be hiding in plain sight, right inside the code of the projects we're about to explore. These are the teams that are laying down the digital railroad tracks for a completely different kind of internet. Okay, so let's get right into it. We've got a countdown of 9 projects that are taking on some of the biggest challenges in this whole space. We're talking everything from scalability and privacy to completely disrupting the business models of big tech. We're going to kick things off with our first group, which I'm calling the foundation builders. These are the projects creating that essential infrastructure, the bedrock that new digital economies can actually be built on top of. So starting us off at number 9 is a project that made some huge waves right when it launched, Blast. So the whole idea behind Blast is something they call native yield. See, it's a layer 2 for Ethereum, but it's built from the ground up so your assets are always working for you. So how does it do that? Well, it uses something called optimistic rollups, which is just a fancy way of saying it bundles transactions to be more efficient. And it automatically puts your ETH and stablecoins to work earning yield. The craziest part, it's got this auto rebasing feature, which means your balance literally just grows in your wallet over time. No extra clicks, no staking, nothing. Now, its launch was massive, but the tech is super new, so it's definitely one to study closely. All right, moving on to number 8, we've got a project that is all about rewriting the rulebook for the creator economy, and that is Zora. Zora started out as this really cool experimental digital art marketplace, but wow, it has become so much more than that. The best way to think about it is like a decentralized Shopify. It's a foundational layer where creators can tokenize pretty much anything, whether it's digital or physical. It's really grown into this vibrant ecosystem where artists get to keep more of the value they create and the whole community gets to govern where it goes next. It's just a perfect example of technology building real utility for creators. Now, before we get to number 7, we really need to get our heads around a key piece of tech that is becoming so important: zero-knowledge proofs. Okay, put simply, it's a way for you to prove that you know something without ever revealing the secret itself. Think of it like proving you know a password without ever typing the password. This is the core technology behind real digital privacy, and it's the engine powering our very next project. And that brings us to a true OG in the privacy space, coming in at number 7, Zcash. Zcash has been fighting the good fight for financial privacy all the way back since 2016. It was one of the very first projects to pioneer that zero-knowledge tech we just talked about, using a specific type called ZK snarks. This is the magic that powers its shielded transactions, which can completely hide the sender, the receiver, and the amount sent. I mean, in an age where financial surveillance just keeps growing, the mission behind Zcash feels more relevant than ever before. And at number 6, we have a project that's built for a totally different crowd, the world of institutional finance. This is Keeta. Keeta's goal is crystal clear: be the blockchain that big money, that traditional finance can actually use. It's designed from the ground up to be TradFi ready. It's got high-speed architecture, and it has compliance tools for things like KYC and AML built right into the protocol itself. So this isn't about fighting the system, it's about building a solid bridge to it. Okay, so we've seen the foundation builders, now let's switch gears a bit. We're gonna move to the projects that are taking let's say, a more confrontational approach. These are the big tech challengers, the ones taking direct aim at the giants of the web. And kicking off this group at number 5 is a project that's asking a pretty radical question about how the internet even makes money. Meet Kaito. Just think about it for a second. Your clicks, your searches, your attention, all of that creates this immense value, but you see almost none of it, right? The platforms get it all. Well, Kaito wants to flip that model completely on its head. It's building a decentralized search engine for crypto and AI with one core mission: to measure your attention and then reward you for it, on-chain. It's a direct shot at the entire value extraction model that powers so much of the internet today. Coming in hot at number 4, we've got a project that's, well, very appropriately named Scale. And it's focused on solving one of the oldest, most annoying problems in crypto. So what's the problem? Gas fees. They're a huge barrier for anybody trying to get into this space. So how does Scale fix this? With a really clever subscription model. See, instead of you, the user, paying a fee for every single transaction, the applications themselves pay a subscription to the network. The end user pays nothing. And that simple shift creates a Web3 experience that just feels like Web2. It's smooth, it's seamless, and there are no surprise fees. Cracking our top 3 is a project that is perfectly timed for the massive AI explosion we're all living through. Nosana. Okay, so the global demand for GPU computing power is it's off the charts. And it's controlled by a handful of giant companies. Nosana's solution to this is so elegant, a decentralized marketplace for that power. The best way to think of it is like an Airbnb for computers. It connects developers who need affordable AI processing with this global network of idle hardware, everything from high-end gaming PCs to professional data centers. It's a direct, decentralized alternative to the big cloud providers. Our runner-up at number 2 is building something you might not ever see directly, but that pretty much everything else depends on. Let's talk about Supra. DeFi protocols and smart contracts are incredibly powerful, but here's their secret. They're blind to the outside world. They need a secure way to get real-world data, like the price of an asset. That's what an oracle does, and Supra is aiming to be the new gold standard. It's building a decentralized oracle that uses a totally new consensus mechanism to deliver data that's faster and way more secure than the current solutions. For DeFi to keep growing, it needs data it can absolutely trust, which makes Supra's mission critical. And now, for our number 1 spot. This project isn't just building an app or a service, it's trying to rewire the fundamental engine of how blockchain security works in the first place. To really get this, you have to understand a core concept. In traditional proof of work, like with Bitcoin, miners solve these totally abstract math puzzles, burning a ton of energy just to secure the network. It works, for sure, but it's also seen as incredibly wasteful. So the big question is, what if all that computational power could be used for something productive? Well, this project introduces something called useful proof of work. Instead of solving random puzzles, miners contribute their power to train AI models. So you get a secure network, and you help advance AI at the exact same time. 2 birds, 1 stone. And the project that is pioneering this absolutely revolutionary idea is number 1 on our list, Qubic. Its vision is to take the massive energy cost of blockchain security and turn it into a productive engine for AI progress. It's just a breathtakingly ambitious idea. Now, it's really crucial to understand this is very early stage, it's highly speculative, the technical challenges are enormous. But if they can pull this off, the concept of turning a cost, network security, into a productive output, that could be a genuine paradigm shift for this entire industry. So, after that whirlwind tour, what does this all mean? Let's kind of zoom out for a second and try to connect the dots. You see, these projects aren't just isolated ideas. They actually represent these major technological battlegrounds. We're seeing a clear race to build decentralized AI infrastructure. We're seeing a fundamental re-engineering of the creator economy and serious, legitimate attempts to build bridges for institutional finance. And at the same time, you've got innovators finding brand new models to solve scalability and this just unyielding demand for real financial privacy. This is where the future's being built, right now. And now, we've arrived at the most important part of this whole thing. Let me be perfectly clear. Nothing we've talked about today is financial advice. This space is incredibly volatile and it carries significant risk. We are here to explore the technology, and that's it. You must always, always do your own thorough research before you ever even consider any kind of investment. So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Which one of these technological bets, which one do you think really has the power to change the world? Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.